just hope I finish this review before the camera dollies away. Wait! Asteroid City is the new film from prolific director Wes Anderson. It stars Jason Schwartzman, Tom Hanks, Scarlett Johansson, Jeffrey Wright, Tilda Swinton, Liev Schreiber, Adrian Brody, and like a half dozen Wes Anderson regulars that show up throughout. The film is a story within a story within a story, and much like anything Wes Anderson, it's all very quirky. This is one of those films where describing the plot alone is a task and a half. On the surface, it's the usual Wes Anderson style plot. An assorted group of strangers and family members find themselves quarantined in a desert tourist trap after they witness an alien life form stealing a local landmark. Well, stealing or repossessing, it's never made entirely clear. They develop various relationships, with the bulk mostly focusing on recently widowed Augie and his new relationship with sardonic movie star Midge Campbell. However, the movie isn't actually about that. Asteroid City and its temporary residents don't actually exist at all. The whole story is actually an award-winning and highly famous play by legendary writer Conrad Earp, played by Edward Norton doing his best Southern belle.
Well, the thing is, Salty, I'd like to make a scene where all my characters are each gently, privately seduced into the deepest, dreamiest slumber of their lives as a result of their shared experience of a bewildering and bedazzling celestial mystery.
His story and how he cast and produced the Asteroid City play appear as black and white interstitials presented as a fictionalized television program hosted by a Rod Serling-type character. So the movie is a fictional story that presents itself as a fictionalized story of a real man crafting a fictional play. And you thought Tenet was inscrutable. Okay, so this movie is much better than that Nolan Mumblefest, and that's down to its director. Wes Anderson has a very specific style, and he's one of the few major directors working today who has an incredibly recognizable look to all his films. Flat comedy angles, monotone characters saying pithy and odd dialogue, the use of vintage claymation over any modern animation, garish and colorfully fake sets. Everything is on display in Asteroid City. The characters of Asteroid City also share much in common with those in films like The Royal Tenenbaums, Life Aquatic, and other works by Anderson. The director likes to tell stories about people who repress everything on the outside, but suffer internally from deep pain or trauma. Often his films explore these men and women who hide their trauma from those around them until they collapse. Sometimes, though, he does also tell stories about clever foxes with George Clooney's voice.
I guess if you come from over there and you're standing at this door to the squab shack, this little gadget probably triggers the... What? Move out of the way, darling. That's right where it's gonna land.
Asteroid City is honestly a movie I'm struggling to talk about, and not because I don't have a lot to say, but because I have too much to say. But while I'm talking about it, there's this tiny nagging voice in my head going, what's this movie actually about? The centerpiece story about the titular tourist trap is very engaging. Augie Steenbeck is a man who is traveling with his 3 kids after the death of his wife from a long illness. It's been 3 weeks since her passing, and he's just telling his kids now. At the start of the film, he is unsure about his role as a father, looking to possibly abandon his children with his very retired father-in-law. His son is shy but incredibly smart. And his 3 little girls are self-proclaimed witches who spend most of the film trying to enact some dark ritual on their mother's Tupperware stored ashes.
We're running! It's here! If you torture us, we'll sacrifice you.
Augie, his kids, and a group of other hyper-intelligent children have all arrived at Asteroid City to receive a government award for their world-changing science experiments.
Unfortunately, it makes all vegetables toxic.
And witness a rare stellar event. The event is explained with so much fake science jargon that I thought I had accidentally turned on Star Trek again. Of course, all this talk of the main plot comes with a huge asterisk. In the narrative of the story, none of these people are real. Throughout the movie, we are shown scenes of the actors who play these characters. Augie's actor bursts in on Ed Norton's playwright and gives such a stellar audition it leads to his casting. And even a little romance between the two. You also have the actress playing Midge elevating a young understudy to the lead role. There is the play's director, who is taken to living on the set, and even an acting coach played by Willem Dafoe, who helps with a little creative roleplay. During a climactic moment, the film even comes to a stop so the main actor can ponder the meaning of an action his character took in a previous scene. While describing these plot points may make the film sound pretentious as hell, almost every individual scene is incredibly compelling. Anderson has filled this movie with caramel-voiced actors and actresses, and he gives them each at least one full-blown compelling monologue. Bryan Cranston has several scenes where he directly addresses the audience in a 50s style narration that evokes the serials of old. At one point, the narrator even forgets which part of the film he's supposed to be in.
Am I not in this?
Jeffrey Wright has a truly funny and sing-songy speech providing a truncated recounting of his life and military career. Jason Schwartzman is quite possibly Anderson's favorite actor, and Schwartzman proves it with several direct-to-camera speeches. Even Rupert Friend redeems his role as Agent 47 by talking about the wonders of alien life in a down-home cowboy way. My favorite scene comes when Augie's that is his fictional actor Jones Hall, not Schwartzman, who is playing Hall, who is playing Augie, who is Augie's, who's Augie is Hall is Augie is Schwartzman, but he's Jones in this scene. He's not Augie, he's Jones, but he's playing Augie. What was I talking about? Anyway, it comes when Hall steps out on a fire escape for a smoke during a break in his performance. He runs into another actress on an adjacent fire escape. They know each other as the actress was originally cast as Augie's dead wife, who appears in a dream sequence. The scene was cut for time, but she remembers the whole thing. What follows is a beautiful back and forth delivered solely by Margot Robbie. It's her only scene in the movie, and it's incredibly memorable, bittersweet, and lovely. The fact that it was cut for time is a detriment to the fictional play, but Robbie describing it from a New York fire escape while enjoying a cigarette is actually better. I enjoyed Asteroid City. I think despite of the plot, instead of because of it. The film within a play, within a television show may not entirely work. It becomes confusing at points early on, and all but drags the movie to a stop at one point. However, the dialogue greatly carries you through the confusion, and the movie becomes more of just a collection of vignettes, like a series of shorts wrapped up in a single narrative. I found myself greatly absorbed at times in the stories that these characters were telling, just not the one they were living. I also laughed out loud at several points. Wes Anderson is skilled at crafting the kind of subversive comedy that builds to an audacious absurdity, like an impromptu cowboy musical number or the escalating dares of a young boy desperate for attention. I even love a very specific meta joke. An opening credit promises Jeff Goldblum as the alien. When we do see the alien, it doesn't speak, is animated, and has about 30 seconds of screen time. However, a dolly shot of the play's backstage shows Goldblum sitting in a makeup chair with a terrible alien costume. I think he says like 3 words. This is the kind of movie that is going to look great on everyone's acting reels. There are amazing individual scenes and strong and mannered performances full of clear choices and unique characterizations. However, I can't help but feel that the meta-narrative gets in the way of what could have been one of Anderson's best works. His style is on full display with colorful sets, characters, and monologues. I also hope that you find something or someone you love someday, watcher, as much as Wes Anderson loves dolly shots. It's like the camera always has some place to be, and it's getting there sideways. I enjoyed Asteroid City quite a bit, but for me it fell short of Anderson's best work. It doesn't have the plot clarity of something like Moonrise Kingdom, or the emotional connection with the characters that's in films like The Royal Tenenbaums, or even The Fantastic Mr. Fox. Asteroid City gets a 3.5 out of 5.
If you wanted to live a nice, quiet, peaceful life, you picked the wrong time to get born.
I did find myself thinking about the film's meaning a great deal after it was over, but even now I'm not really sure I have a good grasp on what it is. It's either something about the creative process or how we connect with the universe around us, or maybe it's just about how Wes Anderson got a new dolly track for Christmas and he really wants to use it as much as possible. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. Remember, stay safe and be who you are.